unfolds. I feel the sense of majesty, a sense of the vastness of the universe. I sit in awe, witnessing rays and waves of light, colored fields extending out and away from me in all directions. I am resonating very high now as I feel myself dance in this field of love, swaying and dancing, mixing with this divine source energy. I feel myself opening to new tones and subtle frequencies, and any external sounds all assisting me, moving my attention towards my divine guidance. I feel it. I sense my new energy rise even higher now as I tap into divinity. I sense this healing, protective light source, expanding beyond perceptions, beyond matter, beyond a time existing in this plane of higher frequency. I've entered into a new realm now, and I relax here for a few moments. In this new space, observing sounds, colors, a sense of the presence of others, those who are here to guide me, to love me. Now calmly allowing any and all guidance to be communicated, I open to the direct wave of clear communications. It may be from one or more living sources who come around me in a loving, protective way. I am ready to receive and process messages through pictures, words, or other expressions. I tap in now. I am here and allow my awareness to be filled with all I need in my life right now. I take a few moments to receive. I take a deep breath now, filled, content, open. I bring my focus back to my breath. Now, one with the frequency of love, I continue to vibrate at a heightened awareness. I am connected to all. I am, and continue to receive, process, and perceive the world through new perceptions of the goodness. I am powerful and able to commune with my higher self and all who mean well through the universal intelligence. Divine Source is infinitely available because I am one with it. And every time I heighten my awareness, as I have done, I am divinely inspired. I am a light. I am one with Source. I am alive and a powerful, magnificent being. I navigate my world with a greater sense of peace. And as peace, I move with greater ease and greater understanding. I am able to see how life is always supporting me. My new openness and trust enable this new reality. This powerful moment brings new potential, new perceptions, new awareness. Grateful and blessed, I move towards perceiving my physical body now. Bringing my attention to my body, to this room. Knowing I am always very much connected. Noticing the top of my head. Once more witnessing my divine connection. I feel stronger, healthier. I have a deep, deep knowing. I feel a compassion for myself. It is growing stronger as I move ahead with a fuller heart. Feeling the trust within myself. Noticing each heartbeat. Love is magnified now. Confidently, I am able to continue my day. Feeling great, with a new sense of guidance, inner guidance, more awareness. All is well. Please join with me in affirming, and so it is.
Why isn't it on? There it is. Morning, everybody. Morning. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Hamilton. My name is Reverend Pat Ball. I am a retired Unity minister. I am quite enjoying that. What do you call it? Retirement. Yeah, I'm having fun.
That new vocation?
Well, it is, I don't think ministers ever retire. It's like we retread more than retire. Well, so if you're here for the first time today, those of you that are online, there's a place for you to let us know in the chat or email us, and we have a gift for you. So we are going to be talking about the 12 powers every month so that you get to know more what these wonderful characteristics that we have been born with, what they are, and how we can use them. So the power for the month of September is divine order. And the affirmation is, I skillfully use divine order to establish my life. And one of the things that Myrtle Fillmore did, who was our co-founder, for the children, they put colors to every one of the powers. So as you can tell, what is the color for divine order? Green. It's green. And the divine order area I better read and see what's... So in his book, get back to my job. 12 Powers on page 113, those of you that have a copy, Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, defines divine order as mind, idea, manifestation. That's how things happen. It's the first law of the universe. Divine order is the way all our minds work. Mind, idea, expression is the blueprint for all thoughts and feelings and manifestations. If I'm feeling stuck or bewildered, it's a sign I'm unskillfully using the law of divine order and having it out of order. With compassion, I pause and then release any thoughts of worry, impatience, and doubt. And I realize in hindsight, which is always the best, where we always realize things, isn't it? That foundational aspects had to be in place first. This helps me be patient and trusting. I listen with my heart-mind, trusting that I discern my path one step at a time. I skillfully use the law of divine order now. I am always using it to establish my life. And I skillfully use divine order in my life because I choose to be happy. And that means every day, in every way, my life is getting better and better. Isn't that neat? Yes, honey.
I have a fun idea.
You have a fun idea?
Yeah,
what is it?
Sunday of each
yes.
Month, all wear something of the color of the month.
The last Sunday of every month, we could all wear something of the color of the month. Oh, gee, what have I got that's green? But this is the first Sunday, so I'm left off the hook. I do have green on, yes.
The last Sunday of the month, we're starting children's church.
The last Sunday of the month, we're going to start children's church? Oh, wow. How cool is it? The fourth Sunday? Because what?
Always the fourth Sunday.
The fourth Sunday of the month, there's going to be children's church here. Oh, that is wonderful. They had so much fun last time. I can understand why. So this is now, I thought September started a new quarter. I guess October does. Yeah, I don't know how to divide 12. It's 3 months each. So we are still tithing, of course, to Unity Canada and to New Hope Bikes, which is a wonderful charity. But we do have a new song for the month. It looks like it's L-O-V-E. Take it away, Emilio.
You'll recognize this one. Sing it with me. is for the way you look at me, and O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore, and love is all that I can give to you. And love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. I said love is all that I can give to you. And love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. Now you can sing it with me again. Here we go. I said L is for the way you look at me, and O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore, and love is all that I can give to you. Oh, love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love was made for me and you. That's right, sing it with me. I said love was made for me and you. One more time like you mean it. Love was made for me and you.
That's so nice. I haven't heard that song in a long time. Did you enjoy that at home? And I want to say a special hello to Jean and Catherine, who are watching us online. They're normally here in person, but they are today watching it on the computer. So hello. And I am Reverend Anna Hokangas, and it is my absolute delight to be here with you again on this beautiful Sunday. It's always a great day at Unity, isn't it, Emilio? Yes, yes it is. So let's start with prayer. And join with me in the I am, as I remember that I am one with all that is, and so are you. Oh, so relax, close your eyes, bring your attention to your heart center, and join with me in the I am. There is only one divine essence that permeates all things seen and unseen. It is the divine. It is the source. It is pure intelligence, and it is the energy that creates worlds and created me. It is what animates me, and I am one with it always and forever. And I know that I create my life through my thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. And so today I choose to focus on that which empowers me, that which brings me joy, peace, harmony. And I allow those thoughts to guide my day. So I begin with gratitude. I am grateful for where I am, who I am, and how I am. And I let go and let it be so. Please join with me in affirming. And so it is. For there is only love.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, I would go inside and quiet my mind, and I'd hear spirits say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is there is only love.
Thank you so much, Emilio. A little dry today. Yeah. Well, today's absolute word, created by Paul Hesselbeck, based on Unity's daily word with permission. The word is love. I consciously radiate love. Love is both a noun and a verb. More than just a feeling, it's one of the highest intentions I can hold, and one of the most sacred actions I can take. Love is also one of the principles that principle, or God, is. Using the principle of love, I send love from the center of my heart to the farthest reaches of Earth's existence. Love is also a call to action, an invitation to perceive the world from the awareness of my divinity and live the love that I am. I stay grounded in the awareness that I am 100% divine and 100% human. Little paradox there. I consciously send love forth as kindness, gentleness, and compassion. I radiate love using kind words and actions. My loving impulses reach far and wide, spreading light and joy. And now another song from Emilio.
We're actually going to do two. This one first. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. just the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel the love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. Yes, I love myself just the way I am. You're beautiful and capable of being the best you can be. And I love you just the way you are. 'Cause I love myself just the way I am. So I love you just the way you are. And we can love the world just the way it is, because I love myself just the way I am. Okay, that's okay, now we're gonna do another song a cappella. This is really quick and easy. So it's I love myself so much. Yes, everybody knows this. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2, 3. I love myself so much, so I can love you so much, so you can love you so much, whatever, that you can start loving me. Let me hear it. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, then you can start loving me. One more time. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me.
Can you tell what we're talking about today? I love myself so much. And the theme for the month is loving out loud. So how do we love out loud? Let's start with loving ourselves so much. And how do we begin that? It's interesting, like I always tell you, I have experiences of what it is I'm going to be speaking about on Sunday during the week. And I had a conversation with someone who talked about the idea of jealousy. And in Finnish, there are actually 2 words for jealousy. One, jealous of a lover or a person, and the other is jealous of things, material things or situations. In English, there's only 1 word for jealousy, and it's jealousy. And at the core of being jealous, if you think about it, is that you think you're not enough. at the very core. It's a worthiness thing. Because if you felt worthy, then you would never feel jealous about anything. You'd be actually celebrating, wouldn't you? And I know that maybe that was a little bit of a pretzel brain idea for some of you out there because you've never thought of it that way. But at the core of it, it's a fear of not being enough. So in unity, we often say the word God is synonymous with love because God is all there is. Love must be all there is. And yet, is that what we experience? Not always. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Just like gravity, you can say, well, I'm going to ignore gravity, but it's still there. And yeah, try jumping off a building, right? Yeah. So yet with war, violence, and disagreement, it's hard to see God or love in that, isn't it? Because it seems dark and chaotic and doesn't make any sense. And yet, it's like jealousy. At the core of it, there is this expectation that something can be taken away from you. And so you have to fight for it. And yet, if you really truly believe that you're always fully supported, then nothing can be taken away from you, only more can be added, really. And yet, that's really something to wrap your head around. So this month, let's lean into love and express love out loud, whatever that means for you. And maybe that's just a matter of looking at when you're not feeling worthy to say, how can I be more loving? Or where did this unworthiness come from? So let's look for love in every place that we go, in the people we interact with, the events in the world, and most of all within ourselves. Like, how many of you can truly say that you love yourself the way you are? And where did we learn that if we don't love ourselves the way we are? And it's just a question. But the thing that's so beautiful about questions is that if you sit with a question for a while, the answers start to reveal themselves. And you start to have more of an awareness of where you got this idea, this way of being. So to see more love in the world, we must be willing to live as an example of love in action. And we talk about that who we are shows up out there. And so if we show up loving, no matter how terrible a situation can be, love shows up in that situation. It's like the example I gave last week of my little fender bender. Love showed up in the midst of that. Didn't have to, but it did. Being loved and loving others starts with loving ourselves. And I know that it seems like it's easier to love someone else, but can you really truly love someone unconditionally if you don't know what that is for yourself? I don't think you can. Just my opinion, but I don't think you can. So let's dive deeper into loving ourselves and share our experience with the world. And that begins with just being willing to be who you are and not be afraid. Maybe it's baby steps. So Charles Fillmore always did metaphysical interpretations of different words. He actually has this huge metaphysical Bible dictionary that is like the size of an encyclopedia of all of the words that he has used in spirituality and from the Bible to look at it like what's the higher meaning of that word. And so he says that love is a divine attribute. It is an idea in the one mind. God is love and love is God, and a quality in being. The difference between divine love and human love is that divine love is broad and unlimited, a universal and harmonizing power. Human love is based on personality, and it's selfish and lawless and fickle. Fickle being, you never know from one day to the next. It's not a word I use very often, but interesting to see it there. And he continues to say, the development of divine love has its place in demonstrating supply. And what demonstrating supply is that we manifest in our life. We think about something and it just kind of shows up, or you think of a friend and they call you, or you wish for something and all of a sudden somebody gifts it to you, or you are able to get it. That is what's called demonstrating supply. And when love is established in the consciousness, it will draw to us that which we require to make us happy and contented, all that really belongs to us. So if it hasn't come to you, there's one of two reasons. It doesn't belong to you, or you haven't put yourself in the place of believing that you're worth having it, which is the consciousness of it, whatever that is, whether it be health, whether it be wealth, whether it be love, you name it. So living a spiritual life requires a conscious understanding that spirit expresses itself as all of us. And that's a journey. That's the journey we're on. Recognizing the divinity within all of us starts with recognizing that you yourself are divine. And there are some modern day books now that you can buy, like E squared and E cubed, that are these experiments that you can play with the universe to see if there's actually this responsive, loving energy out there. And they're really quite fun. And it's a bit like The Secret, that you can start to manifest things and they seem to come out of nowhere. But that's your connection to the divine. And when you start to recognize that you can manifest things, then there is so much more that you can experience in your life, not just things. So when you consciously direct the energy of love, you transform the communities around you because you can't help it. Those that are attracted to what you are being want to be around you, and you want to be around them. Think of the people that you really don't want to be around, because they are radiating an energy that doesn't feel good. And those that you want to be around are radiating this beautiful energy. My husband and I, Randy, had a conversation about our director here, executive director, who is Brenda Burdett. And he said, oh, everybody wants to be around Brenda. And it's true. She is this bubbly, loving, curious, capable individual that just is so happy to see everyone, and it just is so lovely to be with her. And I'm sure you can think of other people who are that way too. So your intuition is the way that spirit communicates with you. Did you know that? I think you probably did. And when you listen to your intuition and allow it to guide you, you're living in the flow of love. It's as simple as that, or as complicated as that. So intuition, born to stand out, and loving ourselves are the three things that we're going to look at today. So intuition, can you hear it? Maybe you see it. Maybe you feel it. And if not, why not? Maybe you just didn't know that that's what it was. You know, some people call it a gut feeling. Actually, in the new year, I'm going to offer a course called, and now it's gone from my head. It's based on, no, that's this year. It's a book called Signs and Wonders. And actually, Bruce showed the book, Friending the Universe, which we're going to start next week. But Signs and Wonders is about 10 or 12 chapters of all of the ways in which we communicate and the universe communicates with us. And so it should be really interesting. It'll be a weekly discussion group based on the book. So unforgiveness is the noise that you must clear to speak to God and hear the answers. Unforgiveness, I have to say it again, unforgiveness is the noise that you must clear to speak to God and hear the answers. So if there's any grudges that you're holding, any resentments that you're holding, any unforgiveness that you're having, you literally have put a knot in the flow of the good that could come to you. And if there's still good in your life, then it's trying to squeak through that tight knot, if you can imagine what it must be like if you were to undo it. So if in any way you can start to either forgive yourself or forgive others, then start to do that, because your life will improve immediately. So you have work to do to come to terms with yourself first. So what are you holding on to that you should have, could have, would have, but you didn't, and you're still thrashing yourself about it? And I think all of us have those kinds of things where I could have done better if I'd known better. Well, that's the whole thing. Today you know better. So give yourself a break and say, you know, that won't happen again because today I know better. And that's how you begin to forgive. Think about someone close to you and bring some negative points to the surface. So can you think of someone close to you and some of their negative points. A forgiveness letter addressed to yourself could be one way of talking to them. You know, saying that this is, you know, how I'm feeling and all of that, and release it. Here's one by Albert Clayton from Signs and Wonders. See, the name was going to come because it was on the slide. Understanding the Language of God. So this is what Albert wrote to himself to release. He says, I'm writing you this amends letter to free us both from self-pity and from being victims. I will not say I'm sorry or that I apologize for my part in the bruised feelings with family and friends. Most of us have been using such empty and meaningless expressions all our lives to wiggle away from true absolution. In order to seek forgiveness from you, I'm going to change. I never allowed you to accept yourself. You were born with club feet and short of stature, and I said God should have made you a perfect specimen of a man. Remember how you loved the biblical story of Jesus inviting Zacchaeus to come down from the tree so that they could eat together? Zacchaeus had gone up the tree because he was short and wanted to be able to see Jesus. Jesus loved Zacchaeus, no matter his height, but I would not let you identify with this love. You were born into financial privation, and I made you believe that you had been switched at birth like the prince and the pauper. You don't need to get along with the Goldens, that's his family, I whispered. I made you super sensitive about every word and every glance from everybody all your life. You need to divide and conquer friends was the coaching ploy from me. Hence, your passive-aggressive behavior made people furious with you. You cheated on exams when you knew the answers because I made you doubt yourself. You stole things you didn't need and wanted because I nudged you. Ice cream and candy and finally too much booze were my weapons to keep you attached to my godless ways. I sprinkled in fear and anger with resentment towards those who took away what you thought was yours and were not going to give you what you wanted. What I never counted on was that you would one day get quiet enough to hear God when he spoke to you. I ask you to forgive me and would like us to form an alliance as twin souls. Let's embrace whatever principles we need to be precious children of God. I love you and I honor you, your eagle self. Boy, that's a pretty comprehensive letter, isn't it? The more you trust your intuition, the easier the path becomes. Sharing your stories about your challenges and triumphs of listening to your intuition inspires others to do the same. So share your knowledge. March to the beat of your own drum is a video talking about kids. So here it goes.
I think it's really hard to be a kid. I think about my own childhood and how hard it was. I felt so insecure. I felt like a loser. I felt small. And this was independent of being bullied. I felt that way anyways. I felt lost. And then I was bullied on top of that. And it was not just any bullying, it was racist bullying. I was relentlessly bullied about coming from the Sikh faith, my father wearing a turban. I had really long hair, 2 braids often. We didn't have a lot of money, so my clothes were always clean and pressed, not always matching, different fabrics. Like when I look at the photos now, I'm not really sure why that was thought that it was a good outfit combination, but I wish I knew then what I know now, which is it may feel safer to push down our differences and push down what makes us unique and have people anglicize our name and worry about what we look like and so much more. I understand why I did that and why kids do that, but actually it feels so much better to be like, no, this is my name and this is how you say it, and align with other kids who feel the same way you do, who are also wanting to be more authentic and live their truth and recognize that being different and unique is actually the gift that will set us apart and will cause us to feel happy. And actually what makes you win is by being unique and being different and like cultivating the light within. So I would say to little kids today, like, march to the beat of your own drum. It's everything.
Good one, eh? And loving ourselves, and Brené Brown always comes up when it comes to loving ourselves. So these are 10 tips on self-love with Brené Brown.
Gratitude and joy. The courage to be vulnerable enough to really feel grateful and joyful will always trump scarcity. You know, we live in a culture of scarcity. We live in a culture of never enough. You can fill in the blanks. Never good enough, skinny enough, rich enough, popular enough, never bestseller enough, never blah blah enough, never enough Twitter followers, never enough. Never enough. Never enough. And what's interesting is there's only, in the research what I found, there's only one way out of scarcity, and that is enoughness. At some point, we need to just say, enough. I'm enough. What I'm doing is enough.
What I'm doing is enough, that you're enough. And so when you think about that being underneath anything that you feel you're missing in life, that when you start to say, I'm enough, that those things start to show up. So tip 2.
I love in the TEDx talk, I think it was a TEDx talk, where you talk about the original definition of courage. Can you share that?
Yeah.
I love that.
I do too. It's from the Latin word cur, meaning heart. And so the original definition was to share all of yourself, share your whole story with your whole heart. So an act of courage was an act of storytelling, which I think is true.
So share your whole story and whole heart. And somebody in the audience is going, I don't think so. The thing is that it's not about dragging somebody through all the pain and misery that you went through. That's not what that means. It's not about, like, don't come and vomit on me with all your stuff. It's not that at all. It's about sharing that you too have had challenges and you too maybe are struggling, but you're working on it. And that's the sharing with the whole heart. And she's going, yeah, I can do that. Just for those of you at home.
The question I think that drives my work is really, what is the struggle? What is our struggle with believing that we're enough? How does that play into the bigger cultural picture? What are the messages and expectations that fuel this sense that we have to be perfect, that we're not allowed to be vulnerable? It's about waking up in the morning and saying, you know, no matter what gets done and how much is done and how it's done, I'm enough and I'm worthy of love and belonging and joy. I think wholeheartedness, the entire idea of wholeheartedness, is about engaging with the world from a place of worthiness.
I remember being a kid, engaging in the world. I had the opportunity on Saturdays to go downtown, and I was about 12 years old, which was really a big deal because I had to take the bus, and it was about a half-hour bus ride. And I would go to the Kresge's store, which had a lunch counter, and I would order French fries. And the French fries came in a little cup, and they always filled the cup overflowing because they wanted to give you as much as you could possibly get. And I was so scared to do things right that if the French fries fell, I didn't eat any of the ones that landed on the counter. I would just eat the ones that were in the bowl. And I think about that now, and that was that whole idea of I needed to look okay rather than enjoying myself. So I did enjoy the few French fries that were there. But you know, it's funny how our behavior is limited by the fears that we have of what somebody else thinks, that we're somehow not enough, that our money isn't enough, or our presence isn't enough somewhere in the world. So tip number 4.
The most life-changing is that vulnerability is the center of difficult emotion, but it's also the birthplace of every positive emotion that we need in our lives. Love, belonging, joy, empathy.
Vulnerability is the birthplace of love. And again, that's that share your whole story, your whole heart. To be vulnerable enough to say, you know, I'm having a hard time, or how can I support you as you're going through this? Not that I have your answers, but how can I support you? Or to ask yourself, how can I support myself as I go through this?
I think there's like a thin film of terror wrapped around us. And so if it's not, I'm not safe enough, or I'm not secure enough, it's I'm not liked enough, I'm not promoted enough, I'm not loved enough.
I don't have enough.
I don't have enough.
I am not enough.
At the very bottom,
Yeah.
I'm not enough.
Yeah. Whoa, that's big, 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 big. Somebody ring some bells. We need some bells to ring on this show. But that's
No,
big.
that's it. And so guess what the number one casualty is of a scarcity culture?
What?
Vulnerability.
We shut down.
We shut down.
Because I'm not going to let you know.
No, because I'm
that
already scared.
I'm not
right.
all together.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is that people are like, oh, well, we lose a little vulnerability. But vulnerability is not just about fear and grief and disappointment. It's the birthplace of everything we're hungry for.
Creativity.
Joy, creativity, faith,
Yeah.
love.
Innovation and
Yeah.
all of that. Yes.
And the whole thing is there is no innovation and creativity without failure. Period.
So you got to be open enough to take the risk to fail.
Yeah.
Open enough to take the risk to fail. So what have you held back on because you thought you might fail, or somebody might laugh at you, or you didn't think you were good enough? And that's the getting vulnerable. So number 6, let go of your armor.
Trauma, disappointment, hard stuff. We armored up. And at some point, that armor no longer serves us. And so what I think I would say to that person is, how is not talking about this serving you? Mm-hmm. And now the weight of the armor is too heavy. And it's not protecting you, it's keeping you from being seen and known by others. Mm-hmm. And so this is, just tell you quintessentially, this is the developmental milestone of midlife. This is the question. Mm-hmm. This is when the universe comes down and puts her hands on your shoulders and pulls you close and whispers in your ear, you're halfway to dead. The armor is keeping you from growing into the gifts I've given you. That is not without penalty. Time is up. So this is what you see happen to people in midlife. And it's not a crisis. It's a slow, brutal unraveling. And this is where everything that we thought protected us keeps us from being the partners, the parents, the professionals, the people that we want to be.
Wow, eh? So let go of your armor. Are you willing to be vulnerable enough to be naked, really? Emotionally? Just even in your brilliance. We do this once in a while where we look at someone and say, I'm magnificent. And there's this uncomfortable giggling that goes on in the room because it's really hard to say that and mean it. And to look at someone and say, I'm magnificent. But I'd like you to do that right now. Just look at someone and say, I'm magnificent. It's interesting, isn't it? It's like it was beat out of us as kids, don't talk about yourself in a positive way, that somehow that is wrong.
What's going on there?
They're being magnificent.
Talk to yourself like you talk to someone you love when you're feeling unworthy. How would I talk to Ellen and Charlie in a moment of unworthiness? Would I ever, I would say to myself, God, you're so stupid, Renee. What were you thinking? I would never talk to my kids that way. Talk to yourself like you talk to someone you love. Reach out to someone you trust and tell your story. Shame cannot survive being spoken.
shame cannot survive being spoken. And maybe there's only one person in your life that you can share something with in that vulnerable, open way. But there is something so healing about taking it from whirling around within you and letting it out. And even if all you do is write that letter to yourself about what you're feeling, you have released it, and then it's a healthier way to be, is all I can say.
When perfectionism is driving, shame is always riding shotgun. We struggle with perfectionism in areas where we feel most vulnerable to shame. Does that make sense? So we're all comfortable saying, yeah, I'm a little perfectionistic, which is code for like I do things really well. But I'm not comfortable saying I have shame. But perfectionism, what is that? I call it the 20-ton shield. Here's what perfectionism really is. It's a way of thinking that says this: if I look perfect, live perfect, work perfect, I can avoid or minimize criticism, blame, and ridicule. All perfectionism is the 20-ton shield that we carry around hoping that it'll keep us from being hurt. When in truth, what it does is it keeps us from being seen. So healthy striving is internally focused. It's I want to do this and be the best I can be.
And that's the key words, to be the best that you can be. I love that if perfectionism is driving, shame is riding shotgun. And, you know, I spent a good part of my life needing to be as perfect as I could possibly be because I was really afraid that someone would discover that I make mistakes. Oh gosh, I make mistakes. And sure, mistakes still bother me because I do my best to do my best, but I don't beat myself up the way that I used to. I don't know if you're on that journey or not, but I certainly am. So I've been letting go of perfectionism, and I think I'm doing okay. How about you?
You're pretty good.
Thank you.
I don't think there is an affect or an emotion more difficult to fully...
We'll start that again.
I don't think there is an affect or an emotion more difficult to fully embrace than joy. You know, if you sit up in bed alone and think, oh, work's going well, everything's going great with my girlfriend, I can pay the rent, blah, 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 and then I'm like, crap, with, disaster's coming, waiting for the other shoe to drop, just stop and say, I'm grateful. I don't know what's gonna happen in 10 minutes when I get up, but right now I'm super grateful. And that's the key to vulnerability and joy.
Yes, to be grateful when things are going well. Because I don't know, have you heard Murphy's Law? The idea that if things are going well, there's Murphy's Law, then something really bad must be coming down the path. And I think one of our members, Jean Jefferson, who is watching us at home, one of the things is that she really truly lives in the moment. And it doesn't matter about what's going to happen in the next moment. She's here now in that moment. And if you have the opportunity to spend time with her, you'll recognize that is the key to living a long and really pretty fabulous life. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to have challenges, you're not going to have fender benders, you're not going to have loves lost and found and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't mean that. It means living your best life in that moment, whatever that is. Even if it's just having the cup of coffee and going, oh, this is so good. A minute later, something might happen, but at least in that moment, you were grateful.
It's so hard. I thought doing this research, going into it, there were authentic people and inauthentic people. Mm-hmm. I did not find any evidence of that at all. What I found is authenticity is a practice, and you choose it every day, sometimes every hour of every day. And it's a practice. It's not, I just wake up and, hey, I'm authentic. It's that when you walk into a meeting, you have to make the choice. Am I gonna show up and let myself be seen? Am I gonna raise my hand and say, wow, y'all look super excited. I don't know what in the hell you're talking about. I'm so lost. That's a choice.
Yes,
right? Mm-hmm. And make that authentic choice, you gotta let go of the fakeroo, I say. Yeah.
So it was a little harder to hear this one, But she was talking about thinking that when she went into the research she was doing that there were authentic people and inauthentic people. But what she found out was that that's not true, that authenticity is something that you practice. It's not something that just you develop naturally. You are authentic as a baby, and even up until maybe about the age of 2. But after that, you start to behave in ways that get things for you, sort of thing. And so you are no longer being who you are. You start to manipulate the world. And you start to look a certain way, behave a certain way, which are not necessarily being authentic. And so what we get to do in midlife and older is to do it as a practice, to be as authentic as you can be in any given moment. And so, you know, if it's something that you don't want to do, to be willing to say, I don't want to do it. Or I don't want to do it, but I have to do it if I want to enjoy the end result of it, so I'm going to do it anyways. But right now I'm just here to tell you I really don't want to do it, kind of thing. And that's being authentic too. So intuition, unforgiveness is the noise that you must clear to speak to God and hear the answers. Born to stand out, you were, and you are, and you're beautiful and magnificent in every way. And the more that you shine your light, the more magnificent you become, and so does the world. And loving ourselves is where we begin. So you're enough. Share your whole story and your whole heart. Engage in the world. Vulnerability is the birthplace of love. Get vulnerable. Let go of your armor. Speak kindly to yourself. Healthy striving, let go of perfectionism. Be grateful. And practice authenticity. Because love is my decision.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give up my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can help make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was fantastic, Anne. Oh my goodness, so much to take away today. The whole thing about writing yourself a letter, giving you the permission to be who you are, to feel loved. You know, I always think about that statement that Jesus said, love thy neighbor as thyself, and I'm thinking, whoa, if I did that, they would be in big trouble, you know. So it's up to me to love myself first and to be authentic. I think one of the benefits about getting older is that you don't care so much about people's opinions, you know, so I can be who I am a lot easier than when I was always worried about peer pressure. And kids these days, oh my goodness, with the Facebook and Twitter and everything, it's really hard. It's really hard for them to take that away. Anyway, this is, you know, I am so grateful for all of this. And so let's express some of our gratitude, shall we, in the form of our tithe and love offering for this community. You can e-transfer to this by email, by going to your bank and online and using Interact to transfer to admin at unityspiritualcenter.com, or writing a check, those of you that's paper, and you can mail it to Unity Center here. Let's say our affirmation together and feel that gratitude that we have to give. Divine love that I am blesses all I give and all I receive. Thank you. And now another song.
Name on it. My favorite. One power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. Well, whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, oh, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, have different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in our hearts we're all the same. And we'll remember when we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. Well, whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, oh, one power, one power. One power, one power, one power. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon for its love that's most deep. It's one power, one power. What we are is one. One power. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power.
I think that song was written for you to sing. It's stunning. And know that we're here to pray with you. And you notice the word is with you, not for you. Because they say when two or more are gathered, Spirit is at the midst. Well, Spirit is there even if there aren't two or more gathered. Spirit is right where you are. And if you're forgetting that, then we're happy to remember that truth for you. And send us a prayer request to prayer@unityspiritualcenter.com if you like, or write it out on a form here and place it in the prayer box on the piano. And let's join in prayer now with the prayer for protection by James Dillett Freeman. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And so it is. And it's birthday Sunday, and I don't think I have a slide, so would you just come up and we'll sing happy birthday to those who are celebrating birthday this month?
September. Wow. I can't believe it. All right. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Everyone born in the month of September. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you. You are wonderful. God is magnificent. God is blessing you now. Everybody got a little something that you can bring. It's a puzzle, put it all together. Need every piece to make it complete, yeah. Every note to make a symphony. All the voices singing harmony. All the colors of the rainbow shining. Everyone, everyone, say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Say yes to a world with a little more love. Love. A little more love, whoa, whoa, whoa. Never feel you're insignificant, like a tiny little grain of sand. What you do, what you say makes a difference. Go ahead and reach out your hand, open the door, say hello. A stranger today you might get to know him. A little love just keeps on growing. Change your life without even knowing. Say yes, say yes. Say yes, say yes to a world with a little more love, love, a little more love, oh yeah. It doesn't matter where you come from, gender or race, spiritual beliefs or orientation. Everyone's got the same motivation. Love is love, same situation. Give love and help one another. In this world, there's only each other. One blood, the human race. Yeah, 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 yeah. Say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Say yes to a world with a little more love. Love. A little more love. Oh, yeah. Say everyone, everyone. Say yes to a world with a little more love. Say yes to a world with a little more love.
Oh, another wonderful week, and we went over by a little bit. I'm sorry about that. If you had other arrangements, I'm glad that you stayed to watch and stayed and waited to have your donuts or cake or whatever we have out there. And just a reminder, our class starts on Wednesday afternoons at noon, Friending the Universe, and you can take it online via Zoom if you like, or you can join us, and it's a 2-hour get-together for 10 weeks. And also to know that you can also purchase a book on your own and do it on your own. We have a few extra copies, so they're out in the coffee area. So see you next week. Remember, I love you. Bye for now.